Let's look at our relational expression, our relational activity, and our relational health. If you look at your relational expression, meaning how you show up in your relationships, how expansive you can be in your relationships. Relationships include a spouse, a partner, your family members, your friendships, right? Even like your coworkers, how you relate to other human beings. Can you be yourself? Can you show up fully as you in these places, which is expression? If you can't, that might mean that you are depressing yourself. You are the definition. You're shrinking yourself. You're breaking off pieces of yourself so that you can fit in with your family members because this part of you is not acceptable. You're breaking off pieces of yourself so that you don't upset your spouse or your partner. You have a friend where you can't be your full authentic self with this person because they jealous of you. Girl, sorry. Let me take a sip. That facial expression was rough, girl. Get. They got low level ways of showing up in the world, and you out here trying to heal, and they out here trying to show up all raggedy and stay where they are. Okay. If that's the case, then you might be in a depressing relational state and validly depressed. Okay. So let's talk about the activity. What is activity? Activity is what you do, right? And the health of those spaces. Evaluate the health of those spaces. What I tell you health was? Health is the absence of depression. Are you depressing yourself in those spaces? When I say depressing, I mean shrinking, breaking off pieces of yourself so you can fit in. Do you exist in spaces that are validly depressing relationally? And boo boo, if you do, then that might be contributing to why you're depressed. I know that the messaging is and often will be just figure out how to be in those spaces. I have gotten that messaging. Listen, I have been told that messaging from family members. It don't matter how much you come and tell the person that this situation is depressing and shaving me off and breaking me into pieces and I'm coming asunder. I have been looked at full in my face by pastors, by family members, by friends, and been like, the messaging they give me is, well, here's how you stay in the mess. Here's ways to stay in the mess. Here's ways to handle that difficult person and stay around them in a work environment, in a church environment, in a family environment. But boo boo, maybe you need to have a physical boundary and excuse yourself from places that make you depressed because it is an unhealthy space. And you are depressed because instead of trying to remove yourself from an unhealthy space, you in there trying to figure out how you could stay in the muck and the dirt. Relational. Moving on. The next space I want you to assess is social and like community, expression, activity, and health, right? What does that mean, Rashni? It's beyond just your like one-on-one interactions, like spouse, partner, whatever. It's your larger groupings of humans, right? Inside of that, I'm also going to add like systemic stuff. I mean, that's a big jump, but I'm just going to put it there. Let me say this to you. As a Black woman, if you are not being intentional about curating, what is curating, Rashni? Intentionally causing to be. Think about a curator at a museum. Them suckers go out and they pick, and even that's a little problematic, but we're not gonna go there. Okay. They pick. If you are not being intentional about curating your community, your social experiences, and your systemic experiences, boo boo, you depressed by default. Because in this Black body, in this female body in America, it's depressing. And I don't have nothing else to tell you about that. Okay. It's the truth. This game is not rigged in our favor. Amen. So the only way that I'm sorry to be the bearer of bad news, okay? But you might be out here knocking yourself because you can't ride the system when the system is built to ride you. Boo boo. Okay? So unless you want to be sucked under by the vortex that is the sorry, I got all the way live. Unless you want to be sucked under by the vortex that tends to tell Black women that all they got to do is get better, be better, okay? And you out here crumbling under the weight of ridiculous expectations, I'm going to offer to you that unless you intentionally curate where you are showing up socially and look for communities that allow you to expand, remember expression, to take up space, to fill in all the crevices, to show up as yourself, to speak. If your mouth feels bridle in your social and community spaces, then you are going to validly experience some level of depression. Okay. If you are only living, it's impossible to not be in depressing spaces, unfortunately, especially as a Black woman. But I'm saying if you don't curate spaces where you don't feel unbridled, right? Like this, you see, y'all watching this? This is one of my spaces where I don't feel unbridled. I'm coming in hot. Okay. If you don't curate it, then boo boo, you are validly depressed because you're being silenced. And remember what I told you? Depression is shrinking something down. It's limiting it. You are being limited, and therefore you are experiencing valid depressive symptoms. If how I'm talking sounds good to you and you want to have a little bit more conversation with me, work with me as your coach, I have a coaching membership, thepineapplecrowns.com. You can go out there and check. If the membership is open, we go ahead and join, and you get an access to a growing library of coaching courses, videos and audios, downloadables that I'm adding to all the time, journal prompts. There's a reading list. We have monthly coaching calls and a private community for Black and West Indian women on a healing journey. You can find out what's available at thepineapplecrowns.com. And I am excited to see you. And until then, be well, be encouraged, you guys. Here's a pineapple. Bye.